Sit alone with your own mind. You are a slave to the world. Make solitude a hobby, and you develop inner independence, the rarest form of freedom. The fifth is physical training with purpose. Not vanity, not ego. Training as preparation for hardship. Seneca warned that a weak body makes the mind fragile. When you train with Stoic intent, every repetition becomes a lesson in patience, endurance, and humility. Your body learns to obey your will, and that discipline spills into every area of life. The sixth is learning a difficult skill, something slow, something that humbles you, a language, an instrument, a craft. The Stoics valued effort over outcome. This hobby trains delayed gratification, the ability to suffer now for strength later. And that skill alone separates leaders from followers. The seventh is intentional silence, not reacting, not explaining, not defending yourself. The Stoics understood that unnecessary speech reveals insecurity. Make silence a practice, and people begin to feel your presence without you saying a word. Silence builds gravity. The eighth is writing letters you never send, letters of forgiveness, letters of truth, letters of closure. The Stoics believed clarity comes from expression, not from confrontation. This hobby cleans emotional residue without creating drama. You unload the weight without handing it to someone else. The ninth is contemplation of mortality, memento mori, not to become morbid, but to become precise. When you remember that life is short, you stop tolerating what drains you. This hobby sharpens priorities like nothing else. Suddenly, excuses feel ridiculous, petty drama feels embarrassing, and courage feels urgent. The 10th is observing people without judgment, watching behavior instead of reacting to it. The Stoics believed most people act from ignorance, not malice. This hobby builds emotional intelligence. You stop taking things personally and start seeing patterns instead. Power comes from understanding, not anger. The 11th is simplifying your environment. Fewer possessions, fewer commitments, fewer distractions. Clutter outside creates noise inside. The Stoics trained themselves to want less, so nothing could be taken from them. This hobby creates calm, clarity, and control. The 12th is living by a personal code, not motivation, not mood, principles, deciding in advance who you are, so you don't have to negotiate with weakness later. This is the ultimate Stoic hobby. To wake up each day and ask, did I act with integrity? Did I control what was mine to control? Did I accept what was not? Most people chase pleasure. Some chase success. Very few chase character. But the Stoics knew the truth. When your character is strong, your peace is stable, your confidence is quiet, and your life becomes unshakable. Pick one of these hobbies. Practice it daily and slowly, without noise, without approval. You will become someone life cannot break. Most people believe change comes from big decisions, a dramatic moment, a sudden awakening. The Stoics knew better. They understood that life is not shaped by what you decide once, but by what you practice daily. A hobby is not something you do to kill time. It is something that slowly teaches you who you are. Every time you repeat an action, you are voting for a version of yourself. That is why the wrong hobbies quietly destroy lives, and the right ones quietly save them. When you choose Stoic hobbies, something strange happens. You stop asking, what do I feel like doing? And start asking, what kind of person must I become? This is where power begins. You start noticing that external chaos no longer controls your inner state. Noise becomes background. Insults lose their sting. Delays stop frustrating you. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. The Stoics never tried to control outcomes. They trained themselves to control responses, and hobbies were their training ground. When you journal daily, you build a private courtroom where excuses are exposed. When you seek discomfort, fear slowly starves. When you sit in silence, clarity rises. This is not self-improvement. This is self-mastery. And self-mastery is the only form of dominance that cannot be taken from you. As your habits deepen, you begin to detach. not from life, but from illusion. You stop needing validation. You stop explaining yourself. You stop chasing applause. You realize something unsettling: most people are living unconsciously, reacting, copying, drifting. And once you see this, you cannot unsee it. This awareness does not make you arrogant. It makes you selective. Selective with your energy. Selective with your time. Selective with your words. The Stoics believe peace comes not from adding more, but from removing what is unnecessary. You no longer argue with fools. You no longer chase those who don't choose you. You no longer panic over what you cannot command. Your life begins to feel lighter, not because it lacks weight, but because it carries meaning. And then something else happens. People feel your presence, not because you dominate the room, but because you are not desperate to be noticed. Your calm unsettles them. Your patience intimidates them. Your silence makes them project. This is Stoic strength. Quiet, grounded, immovable. You don't announce your discipline. You don't preach your philosophy. You live it. The Stoics warned against becoming attached to identity. You are not the disciplined one. You are not the wise one. You are simply someone who practices virtue again and again. And when life tests you, as it always will, loss, betrayal, failure, rejection, you don't collapse. You don't ask, "Why me?" You ask, "What is required of me now?" This question alone separates men from boys, leaders from followers, adults from children. Stoicism is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming unshakable, feeling deeply, but choosing wisely, caring fully, but clinging to nothing. And it all begins with something simple: a hobby, a daily practice, a quiet commitment. Pick one, not tomorrow, not when life slows down, now. Because every day you delay, you are being shaped by default, by algorithms, comfort, and fear. The Stoics never waited for motivation. They trained anyway, and over time, they became men and women whom fate itself respected. If you choose even one of these practices, your life will not explode overnight. It will solidify. Your mind will sharpen. Your emotions will steady. Your standards will rise. And one day, without realizing when it happened, you will look back and recognize a stranger, someone calmer, someone stronger, someone free. That is the Stoic path: quiet, relentless, permanent. There is a moment that comes quietly, not during success, not during praise, not when things finally go your way. It comes in ordinary life, when something goes wrong and you don't react, when someone disrespects you and you remain centered, when plans collapse and your mind stays clear. That is when you realize the work is paying off. The Stoics never aimed to control the world. They aimed to become indifferent to its chaos. Not numb, not careless, but grounded. You stop asking life for permission to be at peace. You understand that suffering does not come from events. It comes from the meaning you assign to them. And hobbies, these daily practices, they quietly retrain that meaning. They teach your nervous system a new language: patience instead of panic, acceptance instead of resistance, discipline instead of impulse. This is why Stoicism feels threatening to modern culture, because it cannot be sold easily. It does not promise excitement. It does not feed ego. It builds something slower and far more dangerous: independence. A person who is comfortable alone, who needs little, who reacts slowly, who chooses deliberately, cannot be manipulated. The Stoics knew this. That is why they warned against becoming addicted to pleasure, praise, or comfort. Anything you need can be used against you. But a man who has trained himself through daily practice, through chosen hobbies that strengthen the soul, becomes difficult to disturb and impossible to control. And here is the part most people miss. These hobbies do not make you cold. They make you precise. You love more intentionally. You speak more carefully. You commit more selectively. You stop bleeding energy into places that do not deserve it. You stop confusing intensity with meaning, noise with importance, motion with progress. Your life slows down and somehow becomes fuller. The Stoics believed wisdom shows itself in simplicity, few words, few needs, and many principles. This is why Stoicism has survived empires, wars, religions, and centuries, because it does not depend on circumstances. It works in wealth and poverty, in peace and chaos, in victory and defeat. It asks only one thing of you: practice, not perfectly, not heroically, daily. When you fail, when you fall, you stand. When you are tempted, you pause. No drama, no self-hatred, just return to the path. This is not about becoming extraordinary. It is about becoming reliable, reliable under pressure, reliable in temptation, reliable when no one is watching, and that reliability becomes your identity. Over time, people stop asking if you can handle things they already know, and eventually you understand the deepest Stoic truth: a good life is not one without struggle, but one where struggle no longer scares you. So pick one hobby, just one, and give it your loyalty. Because while others chase trends, shortcuts, and validation, you will be building something far rarer: a mind that cannot be rushed, a character that cannot be shaken, a life that does not beg for meaning, because it embodies it. This is Stoic wisdom, not loud, not flashy, but enduring. And once it takes root, your life will never be the same. And here is what no one tells you. When you walk this path long enough, you begin to lose interest in proving anything. You don't need to show strength, because you trust it. You don't need to announce discipline, because it shows up when needed. You don't need to dominate conversations, because silence carries you further. The Stoics believe that the loudest person in the room is usually the most insecure, so you become quieter, not withdrawn, not passive, but selective. You speak when it matters. You move when it counts. You act without announcing intention. This confuses people. They expect reaction. They expect emotion. They expect explanation. And when they don't get it, they project. They call you cold, arrogant, detached. But you know the truth. You are not detached from life. You are detached from chaos. You still feel pain. You still feel desire. You still feel loss. But those feelings no longer drive the vehicle. They sit in the passenger seat, and you decide the direction. This is the quiet reward of Stoic practice. You stop being owned by your moods. Your past stops haunting you. Your future stops terrifying you. You live in the present. Not because it's trendy, but because it's the only place where control exists. The Stoics didn't chase happiness. They chased tranquility, a calm center that remains even when the outer world shakes. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't want this. They say they want peace, but they are addicted to drama. They say they want clarity, but they avoid silence. They say they want discipline, but they worship comfort. So they stay stuck, not because life is unfair, but because they refuse to practice what strengthens them. You didn't make it this far by accident. Something in you recognizes this message. A part of you is tired of reacting, tired of being pulled by emotion, tired of living on autopilot. That part of you is ancient. It's the same part the Stoics spoke to, the part that wants command over self. And command is built, not wished for, through habits, through repetition, through chosen difficulty. One day you will face a moment that would have broken the old you, a betrayal, a loss, a failure, a humiliation, and you will surprise yourself. You will breathe, you will pause, you will respond instead of explode, and in that moment, quietly, internally, you will know you are no longer fragile, you are no longer easily provoked, you are no longer easily controlled. You are not perfect, but you are grounded, and grounding changes everything. So when you hear, pick one of these hobbies, don't hear it as advice. Hear it as an invitation to stop drifting, to stop outsourcing your inner state, to stop waiting for life to be gentle, because life will not become easier, but you can become stronger, and strength, real strength, does not roar, it endures.